Hi, this is Brandon Jones from BeDadly, and today we're answering the question, how do I raise a confident child?
Welcome to Power Parenting 101.
So here at BeDadly, we like to give fathers powerful parenting strategies so that they can gain cooperation, connection, and respect without the use of punishment or bribery. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, please consider clicking subscribe and make sure to click the bell so that you can be notified when we upload our latest video. Okay, with that intro out of the way, let's get into it. So I'm going to cover 3 pitfalls that I see when it comes to raising confident children. The first pitfall is punishing for mistakes. I see a lot of parents out there punishing their children every time the child makes a mistake. The problem is that mistakes are part of the formula for becoming successful. In fact, you really haven't achieved anything in your life without making mistakes. You didn't learn how to walk without making mistakes, learning to read or write, or anything else of any significance without making a few mistakes along the way. In fact, mistakes are part of the formula for becoming successful. A lot of adults today don't go for the things that they want to go for because they're afraid of failure. And most people that are successful know that failure is important. We fail our way forward. So we want to teach our children that mistakes are okay. And in fact, we should go out there and make a few mistakes. We've got to learn from our failures. And instead of being afraid to make a mistake, we want our children to embrace mistakes as a part of the formula for becoming successful. The second problem I see is saving or being overly protective. I get it. You want to protect your children from being dissatisfied or uncomfortable or sad. The problem is that when you look at the important characteristics and life skills that we need to build to thrive as adults and to feel confident, they're not usually pleasant experiences. Think about it for your own self. Did you really enjoy having to become more organized or to become better about managing your time? Did you really enjoy learning how to become resilient or to gain some grit? The answer is probably not. It's not really comfortable for us to develop these very important skills. And that is exactly why if we're overly protective or we're constantly saving our children, we're really preventing them from building the very important characteristics and life skills that they will need in order to feel like confident adults, or even confident children for that matter. Instead of saving your children, what I want you to do is I want you to start handing their problems back over to them, practicing some empathy, and using curiosity questions to see if you can help them discover what the solution to their problem is. Say, for example, that your child is, a bit forgetful and they forget their lunch a lot. If you were to remind them every single day and take them their lunch every time they forget, do you really think they're going to become more responsible? Probably not. So instead, what I want you to do is I want you to let them know that you're going to hand off the responsibility for them bringing their lunch to school. Tell them you're happy to make it, and you believe that they're now old enough to remember their lunchbox each day before school. Then have a short period of time, maybe 1 or 2 days, where you practice. Say, today we're going to practice you remembering your lunchbox. Tomorrow we're going to practice you remembering your lunchbox. And then you're going to go to the door and you're going to leave for school and you're not going to mention a thing. If they remember it, great. And if they forget it, great. Remember, mistakes are part of the process. They're going to need to make mistakes in order to develop these important skills. They're probably going to make a mistake and forget their lunchbox one day. They're going to be hungry and they're going to wish that somebody would just bring them their lunchbox and help save them. If you've saved them a lot in the past, they'll probably expect you to do this. And you may experience that they are frustrated with you whenever you don't just go and save them. However, I want to encourage you, hold yourself back. I know it sounds awful to let your child go hungry, but just remember, it's in these kinds of moments where the child's going to become more resourceful and more responsible. That hungry stomach will probably drive them to do things like ask friends if they can share food. It might also encourage them to remember the next time they need to bring their lunchbox. So hold back, don't save, don't rescue. Practice empathy and make sure to ask curiosity questions to see how they are going to solve their problems in the future. Okay, now to address the third pitfall, telling instead of asking. As parents, we spend so much of our time telling our children what to do and what not to do. The problem with this is that Children don't necessarily need to be told what to do all the time. In fact, it'd be far more powerful to ask them what they believe they should be doing. Help a child start to self-regulate. In fact, here at BeDadly, we want to encourage children to be self-disciplined as opposed to becoming obedient. After all, certain rules and ideas need to be challenged, and a blind obedience is not good for anyone. Instead, self-disciplined children who regulate themselves and know what's best for themselves and who they want to be is a great thing. So we want to encourage our children to feel this from the inside out. One of the ways to do this is to ask as often as possible. Instead of you telling your child what to do all the time, ask them. Let me give you an example. Instead of telling the child to remember their lunchbox, you could ask, "What do you need to be prepared for school today?" This gives a child the opportunity to reflect and think about what they need. This could help them become more resourceful and responsible. If you ask questions like, "What do you need to be prepared? Do you have all of your things?" They'll start to build a habit of before you leave the house, asking themselves, "What do I need to be prepared for the day?" I hope you can see how this works. Asking your child helps them look inward for their own answers. I have confidence that if you'll practice these things like embracing mistakes, helping children face their own problems and solve them for themselves, and asking more often than you tell, you will raise a more confident child. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give us a like, and if you'd like to ask us a question, just leave it in the comments or write us at support@BeDadly.com. We'd be happy to answer your questions and possibly make a video like this one for the future. Okay, I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day, and thank you very much for your time. Your children are blessed to have a dedicated parent like you.
Power Parenting 101.